Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 160. My name is Jason Erpeling. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here as Cap Arioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and BuyandSellDVC.com.
And today this is being shown for the first time, February 28, 2024. 11-month window is January 28, 2024. Seven-month window is September 28, 2024. And that works out perfect because we're going to go right into the buy and sell side of things. And we ask the question, as a DVC member or DVC renter, is the reservation you end up using something that was booked? And the choices were 10 to 11 months in advance. Now, this got 108 votes. 63% of the voters made their reservation 10 to 11 months in advance. 9 to 10 months in advance was only 3%, 6 votes. 7 to 9 months was only 8%, 14 votes. And under 7 months was 24% of the votes, 41 votes. 24%, 41 votes. So you had the huge 63% make it 10 to 11 months, 24% make it under 7 months.
So you got a lot of people booking their home resorts.
Yeah, which I was surprised because you'll see in future episodes that people like to move around to other resorts. So, I was a little surprised at that because to me, I would have loved to have seen a poll like this from 2012 because that's when everyone was like, buy where you want to stay, buy where you want to stay, buy, make the reservation 11 months in advance. But now I feel like people are like, oh, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go to Hilton Head, Vero Beach, Boardwalk, Beach Club, Saratoga Springs, Old Key West, Animal Kingdom. Like we've been through it before, how each resort has their own theme, and some resorts might be better depending on the ages of children or who you're traveling with. So, I was a little bit surprised by the 63% that made the reservation 10 to 11 months in advance. But all my reservations lately, because I do not own any points at Vero Beach, have been under 7 months. And luckily, I haven't had any problems. I want that to continue. So just keep using, just let me handle the Vero Beach stuff. I'll get all the information for you. You don't need to book there. You can just go to Disney and Hilton Head. But I just wanted to touch on that. Don't be scared that you have to, because you still have 20, again, these are just voters, of course. You still have 24% of the people, making their reservations under 7 months. And, I would like to think that they're happy with their choice and getting the reservations.
Yeah, I would say the majority of the reservations I've booked over the years have been less than 7 months. There are sometimes, if something's really hard to get, a value at Animal Kingdom or a standard view at Boardwalk, we've booked that at the 11-month window. But I'd say probably 80% of the rooms, maybe higher, 80% or more of the rooms that I've stayed in have been booked 7 months or less just to try different resorts. And the majority of the points a lot of the points I have are at Saratoga Springs, and I've stayed at Saratoga Springs once. Not that it's a bad resort, it's just there's ones I do like more, and I've used those Saratoga points to stay everywhere over the years. So yeah, I'd say I'm surprised that the 63% is that high. I thought that this under 7 months might be a little bit higher. But again, it's not like you can't use it for under 7 months because I've done that many, many times over the years.
That's really all I had. Now, I might add something at the end, depending on how,
I can't read it. I can't see it. I don't know what it is.
But we're going to move on to the food review.
Oh, you big tease.
Come here, I'm going to eat you. Get in my belly.
So for today's food review, technically it's not going to be me again, but I'm going to be reading it because this comes from Debbie Allen, who works for our DVC rental team. And she comes down all the time and she gets to go to all the great restaurants. And when I become an adult, I want to be Debbie Allen. She has the best life. And so she said, I popped into Chef Art Smith's homecoming specifically for dessert, as if I had already eaten lunch earlier at the Boathouse. I didn't have reservations, but my experience is that homecoming is usually pretty good about walk-ins for my husband and I. I ordered the hot fudge bourbon brownie dark chocolate. What the heck? The hot fudge bourbon brownie, which is garnished tableside with warm bourbon chocolate sauce for $14. She said, this was amazing. So good. Every single thing about this was perfection. The brownie was warm with fudgy goodness. The bourbon caramel sauce was also warm and came in a separate cup so that when I poured it over the brownie with ice cream, it all just melted together into a dish of heaven. Now, the picture of this is just like this melted, it looks absolutely amazing.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah. The pecans added a very nice touch as they had a nice glaze to them and had the right combination of sweet and salty. All of the staff was incredibly nice, and when I went to pay the bill, I was told it was taken care of by the restaurant. This doesn't happen to me. A very unexpected but much appreciative surprise. That's because they know Debbie and they know all of her doings at the restaurants. They recognized her. This doesn't happen to me. She said, I would 100% get this again and again, and scores it a 9.5.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
That's really cool. They went in, all they got was this one thing. It's not like, they got dinner and they comped them the dessert or anything. All they wanted to go in there was get this dessert, and they went to pay, and they said that the restaurant took care of it for them. That's Disney's so cool with stuff like that.
That's a lot. I mean, that sounds amazing. Hot fudge, bourbon.
Again, I'm not a bourbon fan, so I'm just curious how much it tasted like bourbon, or if it.
I mean, you have the
cooks off.
Even if you take the word bourbon out of it, you have hot fudge, you have brownie, you have
ice
dark
cream,
chocolate.
this caramel. Maybe it's not the banana caramel from Kona Cafe, the syrup. But no, the picture looks amazing on this. This sounds amazing. I'm going to reach out to Debbie. I'm going to find out if it had a bourbon taste to it, or if that kind of burns off and you don't really taste the bourbon at all. That's my only question about this. But this looks absolutely fantastic.
And where was this at? Sorry,
this is at Chef Art Smith's at Disney Springs.
Nice.
Which I've done reviews of Chef Art Smith's before. The food's always been fantastic there, so I've really enjoyed it.
And now we're on to the DVC-Rental side of things.
So the Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot starts today, and it's running through May 27th, which is earlier than in years past. There's going to be some new topiaries this year, including a Groot one, which will be near the Guardians ride, which I definitely want to check that out. There are going to be more than 70 topiaries and new bands for the Garden Rocks concert series. The new bands are Modern English, Crowder, Lit, and Monsieur Perrine. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's a real power on there, and I roll my eyes. I don't have the names offhand, but Disney announced their garden series. Universal around the same time announced their bands that they're having. The Universal bands blow away Disney. Like they're like stuff that we would listen to. That you say, I'm assuming you've heard of Modern English, maybe. No? Have you heard of?
If I took a quiz on Modern English, I would not pass.
Crowder?
No.
Lit?
No.
Monsieur Perrine?
No.
Yeah, no.
I was hoping you would say Everclear, because there's
Everclear is a bigger one, but yeah, it's a sad lineup. And compared to Universal's lineup, just again.
Can you name me one band at Universal or no?
Do you remember who's playing at Universal?
Lit's a well.
Lit. I'm being told Lit is a well-known band by Ty. They have a song. I know that song. But I'm finding out right now about Universal, because Universal has like several big bands you've heard of. Bare Naked Ladies, Ava Max, Queen Latifah, DJ Khaled, Elle King, who's now recently in the news for messing up at Grand Ole Opry, and Casey and the Sunshine Band, All American Rejects, Louis Fonzi, who did Despacito, and Zed. I don't know Zed, but I knew every band on there except for Zed. Well, every band or group or person, whoever is, every single one except for Zed.
So I feel like I should admit something while we're live here filming. So I have been to not just one, this is my wife and I, not just one, but we have been to 2 Bare Naked Lady concerts. So yes.
When you said I've been to 1, not 2, I was like, he's going to say Bare Naked Lady, because that's the biggest one. My wife loves Bare Naked Ladies, and like, yeah, it's...
And I will tell you, when we went to
Universal gets.
When we went to the first Bare Naked Ladies, that was at their peak. Say that was late 90s. The place, I want to say 15,000 people, whatever, 20,000 people. And then I'm not sure when we went to the second one, but the second one, it was like 7,000 or whatever. But I was like, oh, this is, still good. So, but yeah, you're right. And again, maybe the people that are listening to the show are going to say, wait, no, these other modern English, Crowder, Lit, they're the new coming of age, better than, I don't know.
That's the thing. These bands that Disney gets are all maybe not lit, but the other ones typically are from like 30, 40 years. They're popular 40 years ago. Where, Universal's Ava Max is still pretty big. Most of their stuff is within the last 5 or 10 years. Luis Fonsi with Despacito was really 4 years ago. Or, these are all bands that were popular, besides Casey and the Sunshine Band, which Ty is making comments about. The rest of them have been, bigger within the last several. Queen Latifah is older too, but it's all people Disney's got to do a better job. But I still want to keep going on because we went off on a huge tangent here. So the band starting in the Garden Rocks dining package starts for the Garden Rocks on February 6th. They'll have a brand new and returning treats to try from the parks. There'll be 2 different scavenger hunts this year to keep the kids of all ages entertained. Maybe even some of these older guys from the bands can do this stuff because they probably fall for scavenger hunts and stuff. Of course, new merch is going to be coming as well. People love the merch at the parks. I'm definitely going to be checking it out, but personally, this is nothing I would schedule a trip to take part in. None of this blows me away where I'm like, oh man, I got to go in here and I got to go check out, Crowder. I'm sure there's Crowder.
We got to stop bashing these bands.
No, there's a Crowder fan out there somewhere, and he might come in and watch the band. But otherwise, this is just, I had written this up, and I put like there's some real power there, roll eyes. And then after I wrote this up, Universal announced who they were coming out with, and my wife was like, "Listen, who Universal has," and started naming the people. I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like, how's Universal? I guess they've got a younger clientele, so that's why they're trying to go with more popular stuff. But I'm going, even the older, these are older bands. The stuff that I'm fairly into music. Who the heck is Monsieur Perrine? I've heard of Modern English. I've heard of Crowder. I've heard of Lit. I couldn't name a song by any of them. But Monsieur Perrine. No idea. So I'm done. That's it. I'm not talking about the music anymore. Disney, you disappointed me.
I don't know if we should just end the show there or...
If you want to go on a high note, you know what? Your music choices stink. However, your hot fudge brownie sundae thing looks absolutely delicious. So I will definitely go to Chef Art Smith's and try the brownie. I will not be eating that while listening to any of this music, though.
Maybe we should just end it there.
But before we get sued by Lit or Crowder and their fan.
These fans we don't want to go viral for this. If this video is the one that goes viral, just remember Scott Ferrioli.
Worst case scenario, all their fans give us down likes and we get 3. It's not going to be a big deal. We get 3 little thumbs downs. It's not a big deal.
On that note, we better end it there. So thanks for watching. Be sure and comment. Let us know. Do you prefer Bare Naked Ladies and Casey and the Sunshine Band or whatever band Scott said? I already forgot. Let us know.
I'm not saying
And
it.
we'll see you next week.